Hello again. We're installing an underdeck system, and right now we have our carriers tacked into place. At this point, we're going to install 3 panels spaced out evenly in this field, and that will allow us to straighten the carriers perfectly both this way and up and down. We've confirmed now that the carriers are tacked in that this deck is not perfectly square, something you will probably encounter especially on an older deck. So you just need to adjust and make visual adjustments on the carriers to make sure your panels are snug inside the side cap all the way around. Okay, so we're going to put this first panel in, and trick to the first panel is obviously if you try to snap it in there with that back there, that's going to be really difficult to get in. So what I've done is bent these prongs to the carrier up inside, which now will allow me to start my panel up inside there and lock it in. Okay, so we're going to put this first panel in. We have our prongs on the carrier bent up inside the side cap. We're going to drop this down to get over the gutter. It's a little tricky because we have a light right there. And then we're going to go into the gutter, so I have room back here to get inside the G channel back here. So the trick is making sure it's the panel's slid back behind those carrier prongs. I'm good over here. Okay, so what I have here is on this first panel I have a little bit of a gap. So that just means I need to adjust this carrier down a little bit. Now I'm nice and snug there. I want tension on the gutter and on the side cap. We'll go down just a little further. Keep in mind I've gone through the carrier, not through the hole. I've made my own hole here. I don't need window tape here because this isn't making contact with lumber. I've put window tape on my first carrier any point where it's making contact with the lumber. Once we have that first panel and you want to reach back there, remember the clips that we pushed up? Push those back down, and that will just lock that panel even further in place from moving outside of this G channel. So what we have here is we've put a carrier right in the middle of the system after the first one to gauge that our carriers are straight going this way. Our last carrier is a little off, so we're going to keep the panel locked in on one side and just move that carrier over. We're trying to match this clip here. Okay, now we're set there. Lock in the other side. What we did to make sure we placed this panel where it would eventually end up is just counted 4 clips over. If you had a larger width, you'd put a panel every 6-8 feet or so and just go along and gauge that everything was straight. Now we'll start with the second panel, attach our screws in every single joist on each carrier as we go along. Have one person sight down the panel making sure it's straight and the other guy making adjustments with the screw gun to make sure this panel looks perfectly straight this way and that there's no belly or curve going up. We'll do that as we install the panels. This is how you put a panel in. It's a 12-foot panel, gutters here, G channels there. At the house end, drop your panel down so you can get it into the gutter. Okay, I'm in the gutter now. Now I'm going to push all the way to the lumber. Sometimes the gutter bracket will be in the way. Once you're in the G channel on that end, just pull all the way back. Okay, so this is the end of the panel, and this is a very simple process. You want to create a box at the end of the panel which tucks into the G channel to prevent any water from going this way. So we've just made a cut here, hand seamer, bend this up at a 90 degree, and then 2 small beads of sealant right there. This is how you would make your last panel if you weren't ending with a full piece. Let's say your carrier ended with just 3 clips and ended right there. That would mean you need to make a panel with a 90 degree bend just like this one to lock into here and tuck up into the side cap, which would be here. I've already done that. So what I have here, as you can see, it's just a panel that's just a smaller size panel. All I did was cut here, leaving 3/4 of an inch, bent it up at a 90 using a hand brake. My side cap, this tucks in there. Again, you want to bend your prongs up like this. So you're able to get it back inside there, that's where it would land. So now that we have the panel on top of the gutter and into the G channel, we've snapped it into the first carrier. Here's how you pull it into a carrier. Push up here, get your glove caught, push up right here, and then the trick is back and up, applying pressure here until you hear that click. And then pop the backside in. Should just snap right in.